Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. John Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Let's get into it. So last Friday, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier concluded with its sixth and final episode for season 1 at least. I don't know if they're going to do season 2 or not, but this is just going to be a review. I really thought it was good. It was kind of back to MCU's action formula, but it had some very surprising depth as far as its themes, and we're going to address that. And of course, it's featuring special guest. Make sure you leave your thoughts on the show, and let's get to talking about it. And I'm going to issue a spoiler warning that it's all free game, so if you haven't watched any part of it or any of it at all, save this video and come back. So everyone, okay, today we got Truett and Justin. They've been on here plenty of times before. You know them. They always watch the Marvel stuff with me. I always appreciate that. So they're just going to be here just to break down what we thought. All right, Truett, you go first. What were your thoughts on the show?
I really liked it. I thought they really took it to an interesting place in terms of the evolution of Captain America and just the themes they explored throughout the show. I really thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know.
I thought it was just a very enjoyable watch. Granted, there were some deep themes to it, but it was, I don't know, it was the whole time. It was a fun kind of experience, especially the banter between Sam and Bucky. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, like they both said, I figured this would just be a six episode buddy cop film where Sam and Bucky just, boom, boom, frizzy bro, everything, and everything's gonna be okay. But they really, and we probably should have known better just because, this is a show about the American government and the legacy of Captain America's shield and Cap himself and that mantle and just kind of what that symbolizes and stuff. So it got really, really deep about, race and, stuff like that, like real quick. And I think we all didn't mind that or anything like that. We're not one of those people that was like, oh, keep politics out of entertainment or anything like that. So it was good. That was good, which I'm glad that it had this depth because I really thought this was just going to be a boom, boom, frisbee, bro, motorcycles, helicopters, the whole time. And I think that's really what gave the show a lot of intrigue because I was like, wow, they're really going here and they're exploring it well. And that was a really good, it was just super good the way they handled that.
Yeah, I was telling John, or these guys, I guess. Yeah, I don't remember when the conversation was, but we were talking about just like how the beginning of Marvel, like Iron Man and some of those earlier ones, there's a very clear bad guy. There's not a ton of depth to them. It's just like, oh, they're evil. Like we hate them, as an audience, that's what you're going through. You hate them and you want the good guy to win. And it's really interesting how Marvel has over time, I feel like they've made it more and more where you understand every position in the show, especially this one. I think more than maybe any. WandaVision, I guess, did the same thing, but where you understand where the bad guy's coming from and the good guy and everyone in between, you understand their story and why they are the way they are and they think the way they do, and it's just really interesting to see that.
Yeah, I think everyone's justifiable in their mindset. It's just their actions is what separates them. Yeah. I think the great thing this show does is really develop Sam and Bucky's not only their relationship with each other, but just their arc in the MCU. Obviously they're Captain America's two biggest sidekicks. And anytime you take a chance on a show about a sidekick, you never know how it's going to work. But I think they really flesh out Sam and Bucky a lot. You see them kind of really down in a really bad position at the beginning of the show. Bucky is really struggling to adapt to normal civilian life. Bucky hasn't had that since 1941 or whatever, whenever he went and fought in World War II. And, Sam's giving up the shield because he doesn't feel like he's worthy of it and stuff like that. And then it goes to John Walker, who we'll talk about later. So then Sam and Bucky have to go through their own personal evolution. I think the thing this show really, 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 really nailed above everything else was proving why Steve gave Sam the shield in the first place. Yeah. I think that was the number one thing this show absolutely nailed. I've really liked Sam for a long time, but this show really, really made me really like Sam. He's just, obviously, these are side characters. They haven't had as much time, and for them to get that time is awesome. Sam's conversation with Carly, he's trying to talk her down and was trying to just reason with her, because Sam didn't necessarily disagree with Carly, like her thoughts and everything like that. It's just the way she was going about it. Where Sam's like, hey, this is not okay. And Bucky's dealing with really just transitioning from being the Winter Soldier and not letting that control who he is. Bucky's just he's not the Winter Soldier anymore, and Bucky comes to terms with that, and he does a great arc and everything like that. You guys want to comment on that, or?
One thing I just want to go outside. It's definitely a little off of where you're completely not what you're saying, but I love Baron Zemo in this.
Yeah.
Zemo is great. He was really fun.
We'll get to Zemo in a minute. No, you're good. You're good. The cap suit, Sam's new cap suit is awesome. Love it. The little headpiece is like a little weird.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The swim goggles.
No, I like the goggles, but like the white piece that connects up the neck.
Nah.
Yeah.
Everything above the
it's
the rest of it is
the
amazing.
neck down. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But the fact that they just nailed Sam and Bucky in the show was really good. Now, as far as side characters, okay, you start with Zemo.
Zemo in this the whole time he was in the series, he really had no personal goal. I mean, he kind of did in some situations, but the whole time he was just there just to be chaotic.
Yeah.
It was just so fun. It was just like this character, like he was just introducing, I'm just gonna do just introducing some chaos.
And his interactions with if Sam or Bucky or anybody got onto him for saying anything, the whole time he was like, "No, I get it.
That's fair.
it, guys.
That's fair.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stop."
Yeah. And I think bringing Sharon back was real interesting. She's definitely going to be an anti-hero from here on out. She's definitely the power broker. Not that anyone saw that twist coming. But she was good. It was super cool to actually see her get some action, like some action sequences, some action scenes. She's definitely proved herself to be capable. I think this show kind of jangles like two people we're supposed to root against. And I think they do a really good job with one and a not-so-hot job with the other. What were your guys' thoughts on John Walker?
Honestly, Wyatt Russell did amazing with this character.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing. He was one of those characters where you understand where he's coming from and why he's doing what he is doing, but you still you just hate him because number one, he's not the one that deserved Steve Shield. Number two, he was very arrogant about it and everything. And at the end, he kind of had a turnaround in the finale, where he tried to save that truck. Yeah. That was one kind of redeeming aspect about him, but I don't know. The way the character was portrayed was perfect.
Yeah.
I really liked him in this.
Did you not like it? What were you saying?
No. John Walker's handled perfectly. The one aspect of the show that really fell flat for me was the Flag Smashers. I really just did not feel like they were an urgent enough threat the entire run of the show.
Because granted, they were having some, I guess, terrorist acts.
Yeah,
and they were killing a few people, but not major enough where the whole world really needed to be worried at that time.
I mean, like Sam and Bucky were worried about it because it's like, hey, like these super soldiers, like. I mean, for Bucky's perspective, he's like, hey, I'm supposed to be the last one of these people. Like, where do all these people come from? And like, I get that's a threat. And I know just from like research and stuff like that, there was supposed to be a whole like pandemic storyline that like really tied the Flag Smashers in better. But obviously that would be insensitive in the COVID world that we lived in. Yes. So that's why they're like stealing medical supplies because these resettlement camps were like not doing it well enough. But they had to cut all that out. So I think, unfortunately, the Flag Smashers fall a little flat just because they're just not – I don't know. For me personally, they're just not that interesting. I think they bring up an interesting question, something that definitely pertains to the MCU about open borders and resettlement and everything like that. It definitely applies to our real world, but it's more of like a definitely MCU problem. So I think from an audience perspective, because we don't live in the MCU, fortunately, that would be awesome. That's not something like we really get. I guess at least for me. And then Carly, she's just like she's okay. She's just annoying.
I did not like Carly personally.
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I think it just could have. I guess sort of the evolution of it could have been a little bit more developed.
I agree.
Like I guess at the end of the show, they sort of implied that Carly had just like gone like
too
had
far,
totally changed.
Yeah,
like she what she had started this all for she had like totally left behind and was just going crazy and
Yeah.
was a total terrorist.
Yeah.
And I felt like she's started out kind of violent and then ended up a little bit more violent. You know, I don't know. I feel like it could have been a little bit different.
That's the only part of this entire story that I feel like really falls flat. But I mean, that's my own complaint with the show. So let's get into, so coming in at number 6, we got Power Broker. This episode was just okay. There's a lot going on in this episode.
We did get to see Zemo dancing in this.
We did get to see Zemo dancing, so there
was some shots and some moments that were super cool.
Yeah,
all around.
Yeah,
meh.
Just kind of the weakest episode, which is, I mean, that's a good thing, right? This is the weakest episode.
This is the weakest episode.
Yeah, exactly. Is a testament to how good the show is. Coming in number 5, we got the Star Spangled Man. This is where we really get to see John for the first time. And I think this is a definitive step up from episode 3. So don't think this is like a near as low quality. I think this one is a really good episode. Super funny to see Bucky just absolutely not have it with John Walker. Just want nothing to do with John Walker. Just totally disregard everything he has. That was really funny because at this point, you know, like John's like a good old jolly, but you know he's still arrogant and just annoying at this point.
I thought it was really interesting this one just to see like the twisted, like perverted version of Captain America.
Yeah,
like you see in the original First Avenger, you know, like he sort of goes on a tour like this, but you're still.
But John's like loving it.
But Steve is like understands that this isn't his purpose, and you can kind of see that in it, and it's just like John's like woo, like embracing it.
Right, look at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Coming in number 3, we got a New World Order. The opening action sequence to this episode is awesome.
It was fun.
It was until later on. I mean, the best MCU Falcon sequence we could have seen. That was movie level quality action sequence. Which, I mean, obviously all these shows have movie level budgets, but it was really interesting to see like Sam and Bucky start in like a real like low place. I figured they were going to come in high, you know, but yeah, real low. They're coming with Steve and the legacy of Steve and all that. So that it was a great start to the series. Coming in number 3, we got Truth. I think was definitely a slower episode that like
it was a much needed episode.
Yeah. The longest episode, which was good. Sometimes these episodes were a little short. I know the people that watch WandaVision can attest to that. God, those episodes were short. But I mean, the opening fight sequence between Sam and Bucky versus John was really good. I love Sam's training montage, very Steve-esque. Just Sam and Bucky interacting on the boat and like just all that was really good. And I think it was okay set up for the finale. Coming in number 2, we got One World War People, the finale. The first half of this episode is just like a straight action sequence. We get to see Sam in his new suit in action, and it looks awesome. It's great. And he does like the tomahawk thing through the helicopter. It was awesome. And then afterwards, you know, Sam has that really nice speech, which was very Steve Rogers-esque.
Yeah.
Very Steve Rogers-esque, which was awesome. But definitely with the Sam twist, because like, you know, Sam deals with different issues than Steve has, and the show addresses that. And it was just nice to see Bucky at the cookout. You know, like he got invited to the cookout. You know, that was awesome.
And they also showed the little scenes where they honor Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah,
in this one, which I really appreciated.
That was cool. Yeah, that was a really that's probably like one of the best scenes in the whole show. Like that's definitely up there. But coming in number 1, the most intense episode of the entire series is episode 4. The whole world is watching. Just from start to finish, I think this is where the tension is the greatest in the show. You know, this is to me the episode where Sam showed he deserved the shield. You know, because he goes in there, he tries to just diffuse the situation without trying to fight Carly and stuff like that. It was awesome to see John Walker get smoked by the Dora Milaje.
The B-team Dora Milaje.
Yeah, like, you know, like Okoye wasn't even there. He got absolutely smoked, and it was awesome. And then obviously the end.
Yeah, that final scene.
That shot right there. That was shocking. That was awesome. It really, really signified the intensity of this episode. But this is our episode rankings, and that's all we've got. So thank you for watching today's video. Truett, Justin, thank you for coming on today. I always appreciate you guys. Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. What you thought about the show and the video. Check out the link content. Have a great day.